Hi everyone, Ms. Stillman here. This is the homework 7 key. On question 1 it asks, what is the number of degrees in an angle whose radian measure is 8 pi over 5? Now we learned that pi is equal to 180 degrees. So the shortcut is that you multiply not by pi but by 180 degrees. Now 8 times 180 divided by 5 is 288. That's choice 2. In the next question, we're converting 45 degrees into radian measure. In this example, we should really write the proportion. Pi over 180 is equal to radian over degrees. Well, the pi over 180 stays the same in the fraction, but the degree measure is going to be 45. Take a look. The radians is x. Cross multiply 45 times pi and 180 times x. When you do 180 x equals 45 pi, you're going to divide both sides by 180. The 180s cross out. And now our answer is not supposed to be rounded, so it's going to be exact or in terms of pi. So we do 45 divided by 180 and change it into a fraction, 1/4. You do math, enter. You can call it 1/4 pi, or 1 times pi is pi, so you can call it pi over 4. If this were a multiple choice, chances are you'd see pi over 4 as the final answer. In the next question, 6 pi over 5 is going to be radians, and we're converting it to degrees, so we're using that same shortcut of multiplying by 180 in the position of the pi. So you're substituting in 180 for the pi. The next question is 2.5 radians to degrees. Well, this time the radians doesn't have a pi, because like this radian measurement had a pi, this radian measurement is just 2.5. So now when we plug it into our proportion, you're going to see we have to do that work of cross multiplying. Pi times x and 180 times 2.5 is 450. Notice the pi is the coefficient of x. We want to get x all by itself, so divide both sides by pi, and it says nearest degree. So then you do 450 divided by pi, you get 143.23 ... and the nearest degree is 143 degrees. Now we're going to switch our focus to looking at equations of a circle. When you see an x squared and a y squared, you know it's a circle. The x squared and y squared are all by themselves. Notice there's no parentheses and there's no like +2 or -3 or anything like that. It's just x squared plus y squared. So that means the center is the origin, 0, 0. Now the radius, here's my note. Take this number and square root it. So you do the square root of 150. We didn't ask for simplest radical form or nearest tenth or anything like that, so it is sufficient to say it's the square root of 150 for the radius. Now in this example, number 6, you're going to see we're giving you the center and the radius. So now take that information and put it into the formula. Well, the formula is x minus the x value squared, parentheses squared, plus y minus the y value of the center squared equals the radius squared. So notice the x value here is 8 and the y value is -2. So next to the x, you're going to put an 8, and next to the y, you're putting a -2. Now the minus sign is built into the formula, so that's why 8, that used to be positive, becomes a -8 when you're putting it into the formula. That's like switching signs. That's a nice shortcut to think of. Same thing with the -2. It's really minus a -2, which becomes plus. Or just think, oh, it was a -2. In the formula, you're going to need the equation to have a +2. And then the radius was 7, so 7 squared is 49. In number 7, we're taking a look at the formula and finding the radius and the center. Okay, so notice that the 5 is positive, it used to be negative, and then the -3 used to be positive. So you're switching the signs, and the center's at -5, 3. Now, the formula says equal 81. That does not mean the radius is 81. It means the radius is the square root of 81, or 9. Number 8, find the length of the major arc AB in terms of pi. When we think of major arc, you think of circumference, and you think of the formula central angle over 360 equals arc length over circumference. Please write it down so that you have the correct formula. Same thing with circumference. You can copy that from the reference sheet. The radius in this example is 18. Plug in 18. 2 times 18 is 36 pi. Now that goes in for the entire circle's circumference. The x is what you don't know. It's the arc length. The angle, well, it's all the way over here. It's a major arc, so that's why we know it's the 300 part of AB. 300 over 360 equals x over 36 pi. Cross multiply, 360x equals 10,800 pi. Divide both sides by 360. When you divide by 360, you type this part into the calculator. Oh, that's nice. It just works out to be 30. So your answer is 30 pi. The last question is dealing with a tangent and a secant. When you think back to that formula, when dealing with lengths, you're going to do tangent squared equals whole times outside. Well, the tangent is the unknown GF. That's what we're looking for. The DE, the part DE is 5, EF is 4. Oh, these two pieces get us this whole thing of 9. That's going to be the whole. The 4 is the outside part, and x is the tangent. So the tangent is x, the whole is 9, the outside is 4, so that's x squared equals 36. Square root both sides and you get x is 6, and that was GF, that's what we're looking for. So GF is equal to 6.